Hello, I am Dr. Sigar Kanti. In this video, we try to prove Cauchy's theorem for finite abelian group and Cauchy's theorem for finite group. First, we prove the theorem, Cauchy's theorem for finite abelian group. The statement is, let G be a finite abelian group and P be a prime such that P divides order of G. Then the theorem states there exists an element A belongs to G such that A is not equal to the identity E and A to the power of P is equal to E. This is the statement of Cauchy's theorem for finite abelian group. Given that G is a finite abelian group and given that P is a prime and P divides order of G, then what we have to prove is there exists an element A belongs to G where A is not equal to E and A raised to P is equal to E. This we have to prove. So here we consider two cases. Case 1, G has no proper subgroups. Second case is G has proper subgroups. So first case, let me consider G has no proper subgroups. If G has no proper subgroups means order of G must be a prime. Order of G equal to prime. Now here, given that since P divides order of G, okay, and order of G is a prime means order of G must be equal to P here. That is P divides prime means this is equal to P itself. That is order of G equal to P. If we know that if order of G equal to a prime number, then G is a cyclic group. If G is a cyclic group, then it is generated by some element, say A. So that is G is a cyclic group generated by A. And we know that for cyclic groups, if A is a generator, then order of A is equal to order of G. So that is here order of A is equal to order of G. That is P. So we have order of A equal to P means this implies A to the power of P is equal to E. And here we have A is not equal to E because A is a generator. A cannot be E here. So that is here we have got there exists an element A in G such that A is not equal to E and A to the power of P is equal to E. So the theorem is proved in the first case. And the second case, we consider G has proper subgroups. Okay. G has proper subgroup. Say H is a proper subgroup means it is not equal to E and it is not equal to G itself. Then you say that it is a proper subgroup. So we prove this the result by induction on order of G. That is, assume that the result is true for all finite groups of order less than order of G. We are assuming that the result is true for all finite groups whose order is less than order of G. Okay. Now here, so suppose G has a proper subgroup H such that in that we consider two cases here. That is here G has proper subgroup H and we consider two cases here. One case 2.1 is G has a proper subgroup H such that P divides order of H. Now here, as H is a subgroup of G, therefore order of H is less than order of G and P divides order of H, then by our assumption, there exists an element A belongs to H such that A is not equal to E and A power of P equal to E. And here we have as H is a subgroup of G, therefore A also belongs to G. A belongs to G, that is there exists an element A belongs to G such that A not equal to E and A to the power of P is equal to E. So the theorem is proved in this case. So that is the 2.1 is G has a proper subgroup H such that P divides order of H. We have considered this. Now in 2.2 we consider P does not divide order of H. That is H is a subgroup, proper subgroup of G and P does not divide order of H. Okay. So that is here in the second case 2.2. no proper subgroup has the order divisible by P. So that is, let H be a subgroup of G and P does not divide order of H. Now here we have P divides order of G and P does not divide order of H. This is the case. Now here, given that G is abelian, G is abelian means, and we know that every subgroup of an abelian group is normal. That is, H is a normal subgroup of G. If H is a normal subgroup of G, then the quotient group G by H exists. And order of G by H is equal to order of G divided by order of H. Here, H is a proper subgroup of G, means order of H is greater than or equal to 2. Therefore, this quantity must be less than order of G. So that is, we have a group here. G by H is a group whose order is less than order of G. And given that P divides order of G, and here we have P does not divide order of H. P divides order of G and P does not divide order of H. P divides order of G means this quantity is P into something. Okay. And P does not divide order of H means here in this order of H, there is no P here. So P is here, P is not here. Therefore, in this whole, P is there. So that means here, P divides this quantity. P divides order of G divided by order of H. Order of G by order of H means this is nothing but order of G by H. That is, P divides order of G by H. See here, G by H is a group whose order is less than order of G, and P divides order of G by H. Then by our assumption, there exists an element here in this G by H, which is not equal to identity, and whose power, that element to the power of P must be equal to the identity element. Okay. So that is, there exists an element in G by H. How the elements are in G by H? They are of the form HA, HB, HC. Okay. So here, there exists an element HA which is not equal to identity. Identity of G by H is H here. So HA not equal to H, such that HA to the power of P equal to identity. Identity means H here. So HA to the power of P is equal to H. This implies order of HA equal to P. Okay. Now, HA to the power of P is equal to H implies HA to the power of P can be written as HA into HA into HA into HA up to P times. So, and this can be written as HA raised to P is equal to H. Now, by the questions we have, HA equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. Here, HA raised to P equal to H if and only if A raised to P belongs to H. That is, this implies A power of P belongs to H. And if this is an element of H, we know that. Suppose A is an element of G, then A to the power of order of G equal to identity. This is by the consequence of the Lagrange's theorem. So here we have A power of P equal to H, means A power of P whole to the power of order of H must be equal to identity element. So A raised to P whole to the power of order of H is equal to E. Or we can write this as A to the power of order of H to the power of P is equal to E. Now let me take this is equal to say B. Okay. This is equal to, that is, we can write this is B to the power of P is equal to E. Where this B belongs to? B belongs to H. So B to the power of P equal to E, where B equal to A to the power of order of H. Now, if just we have proved that B raised to P equal to E, just we have to prove that this B is not equal to E. For that, let me claim. So we claim that B is not equal to E. If possible, what happens? If B equal to E, what happens is A power of order of H is equal to E. So that is H, A power of order of H is equal to H. This implies HA to the power of order of H equal to H. That is, this is the identity element here. But what is the order of HA? Order of HA is equal to P. So here we have order of HA equal to P, and we have HA to the power of P equal to identity. HA to the power of this element is equal to identity means P must divide order of H. Okay, that is if we have order of A equal to n, and if we have A power of m equal to e, then that implies n divides m. So here we have order of HA equal to p, and we have HA to the power of order of h equal to h. That implies p divides order of h. So that is p divides order of h. This is a contradiction because we have taken p does not divide order of h. So this is a contradiction here. So therefore b is not equal to e and b raised to p equal to e. Now B belongs to H means B also belongs to G. So that is here there exists an element B belongs to G such that B is not equal to E and B to the power of P equal to E. So this completes the proof. And coming to the second theorem, Cauchy's theorem for finite groups. The statement is let G be a finite group and P be a prime such that P divides order of G. Then there exists an element A belongs to G such that A not equal to E and A to the power of P equal to E. So what is the difference between previous theorem and this theorem? The only difference is here we have taken the finite group. In the previous theorem we have taken finite abelian group. That is the only difference here. So we prove that the result is true for finite groups also. That need not be abelian. Okay. So here again we consider the similar cases here. First case we take G has no proper subgroups. Then that implies order of G equal to prime, some prime. And here P divides order of G means order of G must be also equal to P. This implies G is cyclic. The order of G equal to prime means G is cyclic. It is generated by some element A, and if A is the generator, order of A equal to order of G, that order of A equal to P implies A raised to P equal to E. This is similar to the previous theorem. And case 2, G has proper subgroups. Okay, similarly we can G has proper subgroups. Again we prove the result by induction. We prove the result by induction on order of G. What we assume here is, assume that the result is true for all finite groups of order less than order of G. Okay. Case 2.1. Suppose G has a proper subgroup H such that P divides order of H. Okay, that G has a proper subgroup H and P divides order of H. Now, order of H is less than order of G. Then by assumption there exists an element A belongs to H such that A not equal to E and A raised to P equal to E. And since H is a subgroup of G, A belongs to G such that A not equal to E, A to the power of P is equal to E. The theorem is proved. And in the second case, that is no proper subgroup has the order divisible by P. No proper subgroup has the order divisible by P. What is the meaning of this? Suppose H is a proper subgroup of G, then P does not divide order of H. Or we say that order of H is not divisible by P. This we have considered. This is the second case. Now what is the class equation? Class equation is given by order of G equal to order of Zg plus summation A does not belong to Z, order of G divided by order of Na. Okay, Na is the normalizer of the element A. Now, if A does not belong to Z, we know that if A does not belong to Z, then Na is not equal to G. If A belongs to Z, Na equal to G. If A does not belong to Z, then Na is not equal to G. Na is not equal to G. Na is not equal to G means Na is a proper subgroup of G. If Na is a proper subgroup of G, then according to my case here, its order is not divisible by P. That is, P does not divide order of Na. What this implies? See here we have P divides order of G and P does not divide order of Na. P divides order of G means this can be written as P into something, and this cannot be written as P into something here because P does not divide this one, means P is not here. P is in the numerator, P is not in the denominator. Therefore, in this quotient, there is a P. P remains here. That means here P divides this quantity. P divide this quantity, then P divides summation of order of G divided by order of N. That is, suppose P divides A and P divides B, then P divides A plus B. So that is, as P divides order of G divided by order of N means P divides summation of order of G divided by order of NA, where A is not an element of Z. So here we have P divides order of G. P divides this summation. Therefore, P divides order of G minus this summation. So, P divides order of G minus this summation. What is order of G minus this summation? Order of G minus this summation is nothing but ZG, order of ZG. So, that is here. P divides order of ZG. P divides order of ZG. Now, ZG is the center of G and is a subgroup of G. According to my case here, no proper subgroup has the order divisible by P. Okay. Now here, P divided ZG means ZG cannot be a proper subgroup. Therefore, ZG must be an improper subgroup. That is, ZG must be equal to G. ZG equal to G. And we know that the center ZG is abelian. That means here, G is abelian. So what we proved here in the second case is G is abelian. Now I will apply the previous theorem, that is G is finite abelian group. Therefore by previous theorem, there exists an element A belongs to G such that A not equal to E and A to the power of P is equal to E, which completes the proof. Okay, thank you. I will stop here.